Our colleagues from Greece will explain us the first ideas developed by the ancient Greek philosopher Aristotle about space.
Καλημέρα. According to Aristotle, the place of a thing is the first motionless boundary of whatever body is containing it. For example, the place of a pint of wine is the inner surface of the bottle containing it. See figure 1. But when we suppose that the bottle is in motion, perhaps floating down a river, then the wine will be moving too, and its place must be given by specifying its position relative to the motionless river banks. See figure 2. What Aristotle said about place is quite different from space as Isaac Newton conceived it. Aristotle says if there were no bodies, there would be no place. So, space is not a big box which contains everything, but exists as a limit of the bodies and as a dimension of their motion. Aristotle believes that time is the number of motion with respect to before and after. Where there is no motion, there is no time. According to Aristotle, we should perceive motion and time together. He also developed a very important theory about the instant. Now, that what lies between the past and the future. See figure 3. The now is more like a boundary between the two parts of time, past and future, than a part of time, while the past has been and is no longer, and the future is about to be and is not yet.
Motion, kinesis, was for Aristotle a broad term, including changes in many different categories. We investigate only the local motion, or movement from place to place. We explain this term with an example. Supposing a car is to move from point 1 to point 2. When it is at 1, it is only potentially at 2, and still at rest. When it arrives at 2, it actualizes its potentiality, and is again in rest. So motion from 1 to 2 is the actualization of a potentiality that is still being actualized. Furthermore, Aristotle believes that motion is a continuum. To simplify it, we can say that motion is not a series of photos, but a series of very short videos.
According to Aristotle's analysis, space cannot be composed of indivisible points that lack magnitude. Time cannot be composed of indivisible moments, nows, and the motion cannot be composed of a series of rests. Continuum means that space depends on time and vice versa. Here is an example. We see a time/space coordination system where two bodies A and B are in motion. The two lines are inclined. A is faster than B. Figure 6. When we divide body B's time, we thereby proportionally divide its distance. Figure 7. When we divide body A's distance magnitude, we thereby proportionally divide its time extent. Figure 8. This is the proportional correspondence between the continua of time and space. In other words, this is their marriage. It is the space-time continuum.
Chronotop is a term that has been used for the first time by Mikhail Bakhtin. According to him, chronotop is the way the provisions of space and time are presented in the language. In other words, chronotop expresses the unit between the time and the space and stems from the fact that neither space nor time is privileged by Bakhtin, but their completely interrelated meanings. The
But at the same time, there is also